Welcome to In Motion, the Covenant Physical Therapy broadcast, where we are dedicated to help active listeners feel, move, and live better. Our host is Dr. Sarah Martinez, a doctor of physical therapy and the founder of Covenant Physical Therapy right here in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, but I think, commonly we're hearing out there, this whole 1 gram of protein per pound, and it's like gospel and being preached.
Yeah.
It's fine. I love it. I think it's supported by some research, especially in elderly individuals. We need kind of that high a level of protein to preserve muscle. But I would sort of say the range, in my opinion, starts more at 0.7 to 0.75 grams per pound up to a gram. I think that's a very good window. That also is supported by research, and that is a level we have seen to preserve muscle and to even increase muscle on a body and decrease body fat. And there's other research to support that too. So I think having a range of 0.7, 0.75 up to a gram makes it much more reasonable. Some women can work hard and get to the low end of that range, and it'll take some work, but they can get there, and it feels very doable. Mm-hmm. And going all the way to 1 gram is so out of reach for them. It takes so much extra work and thought that they're just not there yet, and they may never get there. Maybe that's okay though. Start at the low end. It's very valid. It will help you. It's double what most women are eating already. Mm-hmm. Start there, get there gradually, and then watch things like the body comp scale. Think about your workouts. Are you really going up in strength? Is your muscle really not going down? Maybe even going up if it needs to. If all those things are checking, guess what? It's enough protein.
Yeah.
You don't have to go higher. Yeah. So I think that's a good range, and those are some, thoughts I have on how to choose it during the day, how much you need during the day.
Do you kind of keep a mental tally in your mind?
I do, because it's easy for me. Yeah, this is my job. I can very easily visually be chicken breasts around this, or it's around
10 grams right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think to the people who are so overwhelmed by all these numbers and all these new things and more rules and more work and stuff I don't even like, and I totally get that. This is the rest of your life. You have to learn this. So yes, it'll take more work on the front end, but I promise you, it just gets easier and easier the longer you do it. It's like learning a language. You work really hard in the beginning to barely piece a sentence together, and then eventually you're thinking in the other language. It just comes naturally. So it is like a language you're learning, and the more you work at it, the easier it will get. So just start is what I would say, and that may involve an app that helps you, or a professional you hire to give you your goals and how to do that and talk you through the day-to-day. That's where I find most women struggle who come to me. They know all the shoulds. They don't know how to do it. They don't know which ones apply to them, and they don't know how to do it in real life. And they don't know when life's how to navigate that and not spiral off. So maybe you work with someone who can help talk you through that, and help you learn these skills of food preparation and flexing with life and food choices and how to work with the mindsets when you're tempted to go off the rails. There's so much to it that really is just learning to live in this way. But you can learn it. It's so learnable.
It's another skill to learn.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first started cooking, when I got married, I had never cooked, literally. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea, my mom was not a big cook, and it's oh my goodness, I just don't have the skill set,
mm-hmm.
And I remember when I started counting, I don't count protein all the time, but when I've gone through times where I've kind of paid more attention to it, I'm there's only this many grams of protein in an egg? I was just so shocked.
Right.
I was is there 7 grams?
Yeah, ish. Uh-huh.
It's 6 or 7 grams. I'm that's so little. Uh-huh. People think that I ate 2 eggs for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of learning a lot of women need to do. It doesn't have to be this burdensome, restrictive count and report to the app and everything is controlled. A lot of us have that history or that expectation of it, but some of it is that. It's wow, now I feel empowered that if I'm really aiming for 30 grams or 40 grams a meal or whatever my goal is, and I'm counting eggs, boom, I can see that's not enough. Let me get a couple of those, and let me maybe add a side of cottage cheese, or later between breakfast and dinner on my way to the gym, maybe I'll have my little soy milk and protein. But it becomes this very simple, tick, 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 tick. Okay, yeah, that's my decision. It's not super overwhelming.
Right.
You do get to the point where you can kind of eyeball. But yeah, it's very enlightening for a lot of people when they're wait, I thought peanut butter had protein, or I thought beans were a protein source. It's well, they are.
Right.
They also have carbs and fiber and all these things. And so are you really going to eat 3 cups of that?
Exactly.
Maybe you want to stir some chicken into that, and it's just learning.
Yes.
That's all it is.
I know we started putting hemp seeds in our oatmeal, and what else do we do? Just these little changes. I got the nutritional yeast and I started putting that on popcorn and just like little things that we just started kind of doing gradually to increase our protein and more plant-based just to have a little more variety. So now we do a lot of lentils and
That's great.
kind of mix it up.
Yeah, that's great. And I think having that positive, like what can you add mentality helps a lot. It helps a lot of women. And I think it's really healthy and it jives with research. I mean, most of us need like 30 plus plants in a day is, some research we have on gut microbiome, and not in a day, in a week. But, eating the rainbow and, most women do need more variety of whole foods and more plants specifically. They also need more protein. So it's like, how much can you get in? And again, this is back to that like umbrella of we want to be calorie conscious though, like you can't just go like layering everything in and all of a sudden you have a 1100 calorie meal. Like that is going to be hard to pull off.
Right.
But conceptually, if you're like, how many colors are represented on my plate? Let me see if I could get one more in, or let me like add 2 tablespoons of beans on this salad. It's a little more protein, a little more fiber. And I happen to know that 2 tablespoons of beans a day is associated with, I think it's like 7 to 10% reduction in all-cause mortality. Like there's so many reasons to just like you're saying, just add a little this and add a little that. And over time, make these little swaps and tweaks. And you end up with a really like varied, healthful, enjoyable diet.
Instead of like punishment. People are
Instead
like,
of punishment.
Yeah, they're
like,
oh,
I can't have this.
Yeah, I'm going to have this like dry, horrible diet that's like a New Year's resolution. I'm going to have to stick to this for the rest of my life and be completely bored out of my mind. It's like, well, no, what can we add here? And when you add those things in that are protein, you just don't have to eat as much of the other.
You're so much more satisfied. And like there are chemical reasons for this, like protein in the stomach signals the brain for satiety, whatever, you don't care. But I'm telling you, like even just having women go and add 10 more grams of protein or 15 more grams of protein at every one of their meals, they will come back to me for the next session and be like, I can't even believe like how much easier it is to just feel done and wait for the next meal and not always be like thinking about food and looking for the next thing and never feeling fully full. It really makes a big difference on the satiety factor, which makes life a lot easier. If you're not constantly looking for the next thing and never feeling done, it helps a lot. So,
that's so true. Just doing that one thing.
Yeah.
10 grams of protein.
If you're enjoying this content, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit. Now, back to Dr. Sarah Martinez and today's featured guest, nutritionist Dena Norton of Back to the Book Nutrition, as they navigate the essential topic of hormonal health in perimenopause.
Okay, I've got one more question. It's kind of controversial. Like, what do you think about all the weight loss meds that are going on right now? Like, I know it helps some people get over a hump of like, I never feel full or, whatever. What are your like experiences with that? And do they gain the weight back? I know I have had relatives do it and they've lost drastic amounts of weight. And and actually it was kind of, good because they were, had heart attacks and different things that were health concerns. But like, I'm worried about the muscle loss with that too.
For sure.
For sure. Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think like anything, it's how you use the tool, not the tool itself. And I do think, again, like maybe not everybody wants to hear this, but the research we have today and what I've seen in people is this is very much like any other way we've helped people to lose weight. There are some particulars, okay? It definitely does lower inflammation and directly impact blood sugar. And it definitely does have some like bonus features to it. And the medications in the pipeline, I think will have even more bonus features. Nevertheless, the bulk of what it's doing to help people lose weight, which is the main reason most people are taking it, is it's helping you eat less. That really is the main way that it's working. Okay, then you get down to what do we have as far as research on how do people do, how fast do they lose the weight and do they rebound when they go off? Yeah, it's pretty much like a lot of the other diet studies. I think, based on the research I've seen, this is almost entirely due to the dose. I think it's a dosing thing. It's like when I look at nutritional studies and fat loss studies, it drives me bonkers because I'm like, what business do you have reducing people by 1,000 calories a day? No wonder they lost all their muscle and ate their arm off and quit your diet. Like that's stupid. And then they don't, then they kill their metabolism. It's hard to get back. They regain the weight and then some. They never fixed their relationship with food. Anyway, it just drives me crazy. So I do think a lot of the research that's been done and the dosing that is currently being used, and certainly that a lot of the like telehealth and like, here's your, skinny injection or, that kind of mentality and way it's being given out, I think it's wildly overdosing. I really do. I think it's dangerous, I would even say. And, you know, I get the obesity medicine crowd that's like, it's a disease, we have to treat it like anything else, just get on this and stay on it and we're going to improve your life. You're really not improving someone's life, I don't think, if you're not helping them understand like when to eat and why to eat and what to eat and how to move and how to live in this body and love it and connect with it and listen to its cues. And so I don't like the high doses, the weight loss at any cost, the get it off as fast as we can and who cares how it all unravels at the end. I think it's real disservice to people. Of course, people are saved from life-altering medical events when they get weight off. Okay, good, I guess. But yes, I've worked with a couple of local providers and had more of my existing clients add on GLP and GIP, and a couple of the doctors who are giving, you know, a lot of their clients this, they want it done the right way. They want them to get nutrition counseling. They want them to see a therapist if they need to. They want them to learn to move in new and different ways. And the way I've described it to my clients is I think it can really, if used right, like I'd said earlier, you know, you already know the work to do. This will just increase the payout and you're the best candidate for it, especially if you'll use the lowest dose you need, or maybe even a compounded microdose, you know, like a fraction of the FDA dose. A whole nother conversation, which is controversial, but nevertheless, some people do very well on it and do see results. Regardless, I think using the lowest possible dose and combining it with how did we get here in the first place? And are we really addressing the habits and choices and changes that are going to set you up, according to research, to maintain whatever weight you lose and to have a better relationship with food in your body as well. And it really is a gift though, like the clients I have using GLPs and GIPs right now. It's like to reduce the noise and reduce the decisions about food when they are working with me and we're working to change habits. It's like, it's so much easier for some people
to have that kind of turned down a little bit.
Yes, it's like clearing the air a bit so they can focus on the habit change and the connections and the intuitive side of it and focus on getting a referral to this person or that person and really building the health underneath while the medication is sort of toning down the hunger signals and the thoughts about food and all of that. So I really think it can be done well, and I'm seeing fabulous results in the clients I have on it, but they're all at lower end doses and working very closely with prescribers who are very interested in their doing it right in long-term health. So we're closely monitoring them for body composition to make sure the weight is not too rapid, that the muscle is not coming off. They're pairing it with fitness in the right ways, are making good nutrition changes, not just with protein, but everything else too. And they're doing great. They're doing great. So slow and steady wins the race with any kind of weight loss, whether it's medication induced or otherwise. So I think dosing it appropriately and pairing it with all the other stuff is the best way to go. So the current statistics that I'm aware of are like 80% weight regain, you know, regain the weight after, which, you know, is pretty much on par with other diet interventions, honestly, sadly. But I do think it's possible. I think research, we still need it to prove this, but I've seen some people, so more select cases anecdotally, where they're at the further end of it, where they've gotten what they need and they've weaned off. I do think there should be a weaning process. You know, again, I'm not a prescriber. I just think it's smart to wean and sort of make sure that you're like making that transition as smoothly as possible and really like flying on your own with all those changes you worked so hard to make when sort of, you know, the medication is out of the picture. And if not, you know, you stay close by to your prescriber and you decide how to navigate that. Maybe you come back every so often and get a little top off. Maybe you stay at a super microdose. You know, there's a lot of ways to navigate it. I don't think we have a lot of research for that side of it. That's how I think it should be done. And in that case, I'm like, sure, it's your decision. Like if you want to tap in a little extra help. And, you know, I definitely have clients who adding a GLP GIP combo was the first time they like woke up without pain so that they could do the things we were trying to get them to do. It really can be helpful. If it's done right. Like anything else, like I'm not anti or pro any one thing. It's just like, does it address the real issue for you? And are we doing it in a way that's not just getting you what you need as fast as possible, but really like building toward the future for you as well?
Helping you become independent one day that you can manage it. Okay, I know I said last question, but I had one more pop up, and that I was wondering, I think a lot of women who are in these like 30s, 40s, 50s range are, you know, we all struggle with fatigue, right? Like we're busy, we've got a lot on us, a lot of us are working, a lot of us are moms, some of us are doing multiple roles, we got all this stuff, and you know, we're trying to get sleep because we know we need sleep, But at the end of the day, there's just so much to do. And so a lot of times I think we're eating for energy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm so tired right now. If I had the time to sleep for an hour, I would go do that, but I don't. So I'm just gonna grab something for like, to get me through until whatever. Like I know sometimes I do a lot of work at night. And so after dinner, I'm like, if I'm gonna be up till midnight, I'm gonna have to eat again, you know? But I know I don't need the calories. So what's your recommendation for that? Like eating for purposes of energy, and you are trying to sleep, but you know, at the end of the day, there's only so many hours.
Nothing will replace the sleep if it's a sleeping. Again, it's like, you really do have to know like, what is the why underneath it? And you have to like set expectations. If you like, let's just say someone was like, I can't sleep, I won't sleep, whatever that answer is. I mean, I would just adjust their expectations and say like, you're going to be chasing this thing and not getting what you really want. So just know that first of all. So I'm always about like, okay, is there any way we could change like the quality of the sleep you do get? Is there any way you're willing to like pay a little more or ask for help in a different way that would like buy you this amount of time at this time so that you can get to bed sooner? You know, this is the kind of conversation I think it takes to like, how do we like get into your life and figure out like, is there actually an answer you just hadn't thought of or hadn't tried yet? If so, let's do that first. If we've exhausted all those options and it just is what it is, then I think that you should also know what gives a quick hit, which is what this is doing, right? It's either caffeine or it's calories or it's just something to make me feel like alert and alive. Exercise is a great way to do that. I mean, there's data showing even 1 to 2 minutes of activity statistically significantly increases the person's feeling of energy, as well as lifts their mood, as well as lowers their blood sugar. So I would say maybe try that first because it's something that's good for you in multiple ways anyway, and it might have the same end result. Now, if they're grabbing for like comfort or ease or, you know, whatever, okay, that's a different issue. You know, like what's the why behind it? I mean, we often do like journaling types of exercises with clients, you know, where you're like, every time you have that impulse, just pause a sec and like make a phone note or write on this paper, like, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? Why am I reaching? And you don't have to judge it, but just like document it. And then let's do that over a week or so and then sit with it at the end of the week. And like, maybe you do notice themes that in the moment you just breeze past or push away. But if it's a theme, let's follow it. Is it procrastination? Is it emotion? Is it fatigue? What is it, you know? So fatigue is for real. Sleep is probably the best answer. But again, at this time of life, like maybe we check your iron and your B12 and maybe, you know, maybe we check some like nutrient related things. Maybe we get an Oura ring or order a sleep study if we really suspect that you're in bed enough time, but you don't feel restored after sleeping. You know, there's all kinds of things that you could look into that aren't just reaching for a quick hit. If it really all comes down to, I want to put something in my mouth and I need a next best option, like, could you make hot tea? Like, is it just about the activity? Maybe you could make a hot herbal tea, or maybe you could chew some gum, or, you know, maybe there's something else that's like, you don't need nutrition. You need activity. I would try that.
I love hot tea. It's a great thing. It's just like something warm and comforting. Are you someone who likes bone broth? Like, are you a promoter of that? I know a lot of people think that's
it's a good source of protein.
It's got it's, you know, it's
good for the gut. And you know, 10 grams of protein or so per cup. So you know, if you're into sipping broth, like why not? It's a very wholesome you know, source of protein. And it's a great way to, like, if you're cooking rice or lentils or something like that, you know, to use bone broth as your water is a great way to get more nutrition into the foods that you're cooking too. Love it. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. It was fun.
Thank you for watching. If you found this conversation helpful, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned for our next episode of In Motion with Dr. Sarah Martinez. May the Lord richly bless you.